What's up, guys? We are back. Real Estate Keys for yet another informational session. I am John Johnson from Exit Platinum Realty in Montclair, also team leader of the Johnson Signature Group. And who is this guy?
Joseph Fowler. Joe Does Mortgages, loan officer, MLS number 1925079.
Awesome. So welcome back. Joe, I got people going into the holiday season, some thinking, well, it's too late in the year for me to kind of, dream about getting put into my new home by Christmas time because I simply don't have what it takes to get into a home. So I'm hearing a lot of this, and I think it's time for us to kind of revisit the myths, the facts, what it really takes to buy a home. For a lot of people I've been speaking to, what it really takes to buy their first home. Is that okay if we take a couple minutes to kind of...
I like you hit something very important right there off the top, John. You said, I don't have what it takes, right? One of the biggest factors, right? It's not job history, it's not credit score, it's not how long have I been at my current employer. It's the down payment and the closing costs. And we've gone over this numerous times to exhaustion. There is down payment assistance. Quite a bit of down payment assistance available, especially for borrowers in New Jersey. If you followed all live.
Can't hear you now. Can't hear you. Oh my gosh, Joe is giving you...
Sorry, that was my mic. I'll edit that out.
All right.
We talked about in most northern counties, you can qualify for $22,000. Not everyone can qualify, right? That's a disclaimer. But there is a good chance if you have a minimal credit score of 620, good income, you qualify for the income limits, you stay below the DTI limitations, you can qualify for up to $22,000. So that exhausts that excuse.
Okay,
so I don't have enough to qualify.
So Joe, let's break that down.
Taken out of the subject.
So Joe, let's break it down. You said a 620 credit score. Does that have to be a 620 on my Credit Karma? What 620 are you talking
620 about? Is once I send you the application, you fill it out for me, and I give you the results. Credit Karma does not give you the FICO that we use when you're qualifying for a mortgage. Cool. Credit Karma is more for entertainment purposes. You can read that right there in the fine print at the bottom. Okay. Gives you an idea of where you are. It tells you how much. It's great for telling you if you're late on any car payments, credit card payments, student loan debt. It's good to give you a view of your credit, but it's not the actual calculation that mortgage lenders use. Credit Karma is not where you want to go. Credit-wise is not where you want to go. Anything that says free is most likely not what you want to use to get your mortgage FICO score.
Okay. So
except for the free information that I can provide.
Okay. So 620 credit score. You mentioned good income. What does that mean?
Well, what's the national average now for a single family house across the country? It's around $415,000 or so, $410,000. So right now, let's be realistic, right? Gone are the days of finding a house in certain parts of New Jersey for $300,000, even though they still are available in a lot of places, but they're very far in between. When we say good income, there are limitations to the program, depending on the county in which you live in. Off the top of my head, it can go up to about $156,000 total income. That's I think what I've been trying to convey week over week with yourself, John, and other real estate agents. Down payment assistance isn't for people that are in low income brackets. The program itself will allow people combined income to go up to above $150,000. That's
Okay.
above the national average.
Okay. So let's talk about it some more. So if I have a 620 credit score, right? And my household collectively makes, let's say,
Household or the borrowers that are on the application?
borrowers that will be on the application or the
Okay,
folks
go
that
ahead.
will be
Important.
applying to get the mortgage.
Because some programs in the past, actually, you had to add the income for borrowers not on the application.
Okay. Specifically for those that are applying through you and your company. Okay. Together, if they make $80,000 in total, can they buy a home?
They can. You could even qualify for other programs as well.
Okay. Now, we mentioned the 22,000, and I'm sure people are like, wait, 22,000. Can you break down that grant?
Okay, so it's provided through the New Jersey HMFA. If you give me a quick second here, I can probably show you where. Here we go, right here. Percent. Bang. Can you see that, John?
Yes.
If you live in the following counties: Bergen, Essex, Hudson, Hunterdon, Mercer, Middlesex, Monmouth, Morris, Ocean, Passaic, Somerset, Union, you can qualify for up to $22,000 in down payment, forgivable down payment assistance if you live in one of those counties and you're a first generation home buyer. If you want the details on that, go to the live we did last week.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely refer to the live that we did last week, and we'll show you how that additional $7,000 may apply to some of you. Not all of you, but some of you. If no one in your family has actually bought a home, that $7,000 will more than likely apply to you.
Additional
However,
$7,000.
right. However, there's still $15,000 that is available for a first-time home buyer
First time buyer.
in North Jersey, regardless
Right.
of whether or not you have purchased a home within your family or not. And then in South Jersey, you have $10,000 that is available, regardless of whether or not someone in your family has purchased a home or not, which I think is awesome. Now, Joe, you mentioned forgivable. What does that mean?
Forgivable means as long as you live in the house, do not refinance in the first 5 years. The grant is completely forgivable, will be wiped away. You'll never hear of it after that.
Free money.
Free
So,
money. Basically, yep, free money.
so let me throw this scenario out there. If you have a 620, and let's say collectively you make $80,000 in your household, let's say you're $10,000 short of money because you said, you know what, I don't have what it takes because I don't have the $5,000 to $10,000. We just showed you where $10,000 or $15,000 is readily available for you through a grant being offered by the state. And the only way to find out if you truly qualify for it, because the money is sitting there. Joe will tell you, I will tell you, we have direct contact with the state, the people that actually control this fund and actually lend out this money. You will only know if you apply and ask. It's
Yeah.
free.
I think I've exhausted my emails to them. I'm always on top of them, keeping up on guidelines with them, making sure that I got the right information because it does change quite frequently from one week to the other.
Right. But regardless, the money is still there. So
It's still there.
620 credit score. If you're short, $5,000-$10,000, we just resolved that, right? So
You asked
Joe.
about income, right? Real quick, I pulled it up for you here.
Mhm.
These are the income limitations, meaning you cannot make more. You know what? Give me a second here. Where do we go? I saw one county and I got excited. Give me a second while I pull it back up, John. What was your question?
So we have the whole thing about, well, I don't have what it takes. Well, we just went over the credit score, okay, which I know most of you that I have spoken to, or most of you that are watching this, have that score, okay. I know holiday season is coming up. I know you want to do well for your families, and celebrating the holiday season with your family, and the gifts, the food, the parties, the gatherings at work, all that good stuff. But there is money out there that help subset what you already have saved,
Don't
right?
get left behind. That's exactly what I think we're trying to convey here tonight, John.
Absolutely. Don't get left behind. There's not as much competition out there now buying homes like there was during COVID. Okay. So the whole notion of, well, I'm going to be outbid because I tried this, 2 years ago, the market is a lot different. Now, remember, the interest rates have increased. So that leads me into the next thing. Well, I don't have what it takes because the interest rates are much higher. Joe, what do you have to say, being that the interest rates are, as of today, in the sevens versus them being in the twos, low threes during COVID?
So there's three different versions, John, of the down payment assistance program. The one that I speak to most often about is the homeward bound, right? And I'll go into that later. Um, when it comes to the interest rate, the banks, it doesn't matter if you go with me or the competition, doesn't matter. The banks do not set the interest rate as we would do with the conventional FHA, conventional VA, USDA loan. We don't set the interest rate. It's updated daily through the New Jersey HMFA portal. So if anyone, I don't want to disclose it here because it changes so periodically throughout the week or throughout the day. It's normally at or below average market rates. So if you Google what's today's interest rate, you're going to see a number with about 8 lines in a paragraph with a whole bunch of disclosures explaining, because by law, every bank has to explain when they provide you with interest rate, how we got to that interest rate. It's most likely going to be that or something a bit lower.
Okay. So, they always say you're not going to get anything for free, right? So you would think if the state is giving away this money in the form of a forgivable grant, obviously they're going to have to charge some high interest rate for the program. You're telling me the interest rate that the state would pretty much set is at or below the market rate. It's not marked up. Is that correct?
Correct. And we're not, and again, it doesn't matter what lender you choose to go with. There are no origination points. There are no discount points that we're allowed to charge. Discount points meaning you paid to get a lower interest rate. It's the rate that they provide you or nothing. I don't mean to make that sound negative, but it's an advantage. It's literally going to save you about, on average, between $3,000 to $6,000 in closing costs. So not only are you getting a below market rate interest rate, not only are you getting $22,000, depending on the county in which you're choosing to buy a home, for free after 5 years, you're also saving on closing costs at the same time.
Okay. So you bring up closing costs. And I know a lot of people are focused on their down payment, but there are additional fees that you have to pay when you're purchasing a home. Some of those fees you have to pay up front, which will be a home inspection. If you're dealing with me and my brokerage, we're going to highly, highly, highly suggest you get a home inspection. That can run you anywhere between
A good home inspector
up to $700. And yes, you get what you pay for. The lower cost home inspection.
I do another podcast as well, John. It's for real estate investors. And last week's topic was about home inspectors. So you sometimes don't get what you pay for, even if you pay, what everyone else is paying. You have to get someone that you get a recommendation from someone that personally has used this person. I gave an example on the pod last week, the Newbies Real Estate Investor Podcast. If anyone wants to see us every Tuesday at
Shameless plug.
Literally, a friend of mine bought a house. I'm gonna say, if the home inspector had caught this leak in a radiator, that maybe would have cost, I don't know, say $300 to fix it. Let's say $1,000 to fix it, right? If the inspector had caught that leakage, it would have It ended up costing my friend $15,000 in renovation of his tenant's apartment. So it's one thing to inconvenience yourself. It's another to inconvenience someone you just took on the responsibility of their livelihood. That's, again, just get a recommendation. That's why if you're dealing with John, he's going to give you someone that he's used numerous times in the past. It's not someone you just want to Google. Because
Right.
unfortunately, it's just, what is it, John? You take a test and you're a home inspector, right? In New Jersey?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's one example of an upfront cost that you're going to have to come out of your pocket with. You have an appraisal, which can cost you several $100s as well to make sure the home is worth the amount that you're paying. But there are also other fees that need to be paid at the closing table to the mortgage company in order for them to give you the loan. So this program that Joe is bringing to the forefront helps offset all of those costs. Okay. And this program can be applied to your down payment. It can also be applied to your closing costs, as we're discussing as well. Now, Joe, here's another question. Can this program be used?
Hold on a second, John. I just wanted to show you
Okay.
this while I was up. We were talking about the income limitations.
Yes.
I have it here. Sorry. What do you think about that, John? Does that look like someone that's low income?
Well, we need to pose that to those that are watching. Here, what you see on the screen are the maximum income limit. So this means this is the most a household or the applicants are applying for this mortgage can make within their household. Okay, so you can't make no more than $148,200 a year to qualify for the grant that Joe was just talking about being issued by the state of New Jersey. Okay, I'm going to make a big assumption and assume that majority of the viewers that are watching this probably make less than these numbers that you see here on this screen. Okay, so again, let's remove those myths or the idea that I don't have what it takes, because we're giving you what you need so you can go out there and actually give yourself a fair chance at buying a home, and not only buying a home, but possibly allowing me and Joe to hand you a set of keys between now and the end of the year.
Let's put this in perspective, John.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you're looking to buy a home in Union County.
Mm-hmm.
If you make 12,000, what's my number here? 12,350,000. I'm sorry, $12,350 a month combined between yourself and your additional applicants, you can qualify for this grant. $12,000 a month. I like to break these down to the last compound because it looks more attractive that way and it makes more sense.
I love it. I love it. And if you guys take a look at my page, at my Instagram or my Facebook, you'll notice that I'm breaking down a lot of the median household prices in different towns within these counties. I just did Plainfield. I just did Rawway. And, Plainfield's coming in around $490,000 median average sale price. Rawway's coming in a little bit higher, a little north of $500,000. But still, if you look at the maximum income limits here, you can actually get monies from the state to help you buy in those kind of cities. And I'll be doing more market updates in other cities as well. But, and feel free to send me a message and ask, hey, John, what are what's the market statistics for a certain town that I'm interested in buying, or a certain town that I live in? And I will freely and gladly give it to you. But homes are more affordable than you think they are.
Don't let what's happening right now, John, and it's literally a job. People have turned this into an income stream. Is the fear mongering on social media?
Mm-hmm.
The fear mongering is just, it's gotten out of control. the housing is going to crash. Don't buy now. Rates are at an all-time high. All-time high compared to what? Compared to what?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's interesting because, some of you that are probably our age, you do have folks in your family that bought homes back in the 80s. Ask them what their interest rate was back in the 80s. Now, I'm not going to tell you what it is. Joe, don't tell them what it is. But ask anyone in your family that's older that purchased a home back in the 80s. Ask them what their interest rate was back then. Okay? Let that be your homework assignment. Okay? And if you want to do your research, you want to fact check, take a look at the interest rates before COVID. See where those interest rates were. Okay? And then you can get back to either myself or Joe. All right? We're not going to take too much of your time, but we just want to remind you guys, while you're getting ready for the holidays and, you kind of put buying a house on the back burner, we're here to remind you, maybe you need to bring that back to the forefront because it's not as difficult as you may think it is. And, yes, it'd be great to get gifts and, be with your family and travel, this, that, and the third. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. But if there's an opportunity for you to get a pair of keys put under a tree versus, the next pair of Jordans that come out or, a nice necklace or what have you, I would take those keys.
Absolutely. And there's
Joe,
a lot.
Huh?
I just want to, before we close out, John, I just wanted to, there's a lot of options. It's just a matter, it really is at the end of it, and I'm making it out to sound real simplistic, just getting with the right lender, getting with the right realtor that have a relationship that's looking out for your best interest, that can come up with different scenarios. Did you know that, this is for my buyers, right? Do you know that there's homes 50 minutes from New York City that can qualify for a USDA loan, which is a zero down loan? Now, the down payment assistance may not work for that type of loan, but there are options. We've discussed in the past, there's seller credits, right? If you land a deal where the house is just, it keeps getting unqualified, the deal just unqualified, rates keep going out, the borrower gets unqualified because the lender didn't discuss with the buyer, you know what, we're gonna go in on this house, we're gonna put it in offer, but if the market changes, you're gonna and they're not having that conversation. They're basically just saying, have good luck, let me know where to send the closing documents to, right? It's unfortunate. You have USDA, you have seller credits, you have buy downs, which we've talked about before, where it's an easier entry to your mortgage payment, where you can basically ride out this crazy, I'm not going to call it crazy, but this higher interest rates that we've been used to over the last 2 to 3 years. There's a lot of different options. If a lender's just giving you a pre-approval and just, congratulations, you're pre-approved, they send you a letter with no communication after that, I'll just leave it at that.
Right. And Joe, that reminded me of something. People say, well, it's November. It's almost the middle of November. It's going to take forever to close. I'll never get keys in my hand. Joe, how long does it take to close?
We can do sometime 2 to 2.5 weeks. Once my lend, the majority of my loans go through a fast track system. So while you're shopping, we've already pre-approved you through the underwriter, provided that the borrowers provided all the right documentation, W-2s, tax returns, any outstanding judgments that we may need to take care of. You've already been pre-qualified while you're shopping. Okay, pre-underwritten pre-approval. Go Google it.
So Joe, we're going to take the ball. We're going to put it in our viewers' court and allow them to do what they want to do with the ball. You can either do something now for the end of the year, or you can wait until next year. But no longer are we going to allow you to ride out the excuse that I don't have what it takes, because Joe and I are sitting on so many resources, so many programs. access to so many different homes, access to so many different sellers that are looking to be creative because number one, they want to sell their home. And two, we want to get you into their home. Joe, how do they reach you?
Reach me at 908-669-9091. Joe Does Mortgages on all social media.
Of course, yours truly, John Johnson, 908-338-0639. You can use this hashtag on all social media platforms or just put it in Google. And we hope to hear from you.
Yeah, please, in whatever social media you're watching this on, please, if you found this information to be helpful, first like it and then share it to your friends and family, realtors, whoever you could think of that could be that this information could help. I think we've given quite a bit of real estate keys tonight.
Absolutely. See you guys next week.